Hello and welcome. I'm here at Wayland's Volvo in Reading to see their new full electric crossover, the C40 Recharge.
The C40 builds on the success of the XC40, and the two cars share the same chassis and powertrain, but they have built a more sleek, more streamlined body to sit on top. As well as the obvious good looks, some of the highlights are a 273 mile range, 4.7 0 to 60, a completely leather-free interior, and it's packed with technology. There are 3 trim levels to consider: the Core, Plus and Ultimate. Once you pick a trim that has the features you want, there are only a few more choices to make. What colour you want the exterior and interior, which wheels you want, and if you'd like a tow bar or not. The C40 is available exclusively online with some flexible subscription packages to suit your preferences. Now let's have a look at the exterior in a bit more detail.
The front end has the same powerful stubby shape as the rest of the range and includes a new design of headlight. It still keeps the iconic Thor's Hammer daytime running lights, but now has pixel technology with an LED matrix that blocks out up to 5 cars while still maintaining the rest of the beam on the road. The side profile is similar to the XC40, bold muscular sides and a choice of quirky wheel designs. But towards the back of the car, the roofline slopes to give the C40 its unique coupified SUV style. There are also 2 spoilers that contribute to improved aerodynamics and provide more efficient airflow over the car. So the rear design is where they've completely changed the look from the XC40. It has a fastback style where the roofline flows all the way to the back of the car, but it remains very clean, very minimal. I do like the lighting design. It begins with a cool C shape before this upwards flick, and they have made efforts to conceal the brake in the 2 clusters by continuing the intermittent design up to the roofline. Even cooler is the light sequence when locking and unlocking the car. Onto the interior, and here offers the same premium finish we've come to expect from Volvo. The main upgrade is the Google Automotive System that was first launched with the full electric XC40s and will be installed on all the model year 23 cars. The centre display is like a tablet, nicely framed by these very Scandinavian looking air vents. You've got a home button at the bottom and everything is on the same page. Google Maps, your media, phone pairing and your climate is along the bottom.
Once you've paired your Google account to the system, you will then have Google Maps, which takes into account your calendar meetings, your home and work addresses, and if you select a destination beyond the range of the battery, it will highlight charging points along the way and factor that into your journey. All clever stuff. You also have digital radio and Bluetooth connectivity. There will be wireless Apple CarPlay at a later date, and that will come through as an over-the-air update, which means that this system will always have the latest features.
The steering wheel is heated and has well-placed buttons with cruise control on one side, which can be adaptive, and infotainment on the other. There are auto lights and wipers, and behind the wheel is this wonderfully laid out display with speed, maps and a gauge to show you acceleration and regeneration. The seating in here is very comfortable with plenty of adjustment and electric heated seats on the top 2 trim levels. You also get a heated windscreen to help clear the frost on cold mornings and a heat pump for efficient cabin heating. The inlays in the doors and dash are inspired by topographic maps, and whilst they don't stand out now, during the night they're backlit and provide some ambience to your nighttime driving. The stereo system is satisfactory, but it's much improved with the Harman Kardon setup on the top trim level. Everything is well laid out with a minimal appearance, and it's easy to get to all the controls. To overcome having to look down at the display whilst driving, the infotainment uses Google Assistant and conversational speech recognition to give the commands you want. This could be adjusting the temperature and seat heating, setting the satellite navigation, making calls, checking your calendar, the list goes on. You can even ask it to tell you a joke.
Why can't elephants use computers? Because they're scared of the mouse.
At the back there is space for 2 adults comfortably, and while the roofline does slope down, I still have plenty of headroom at 6 foot tall. As the CMA platform also caters for non-electric vehicles, we do still have the hump in the middle, but they now use that space for some of the battery modules. On the Plus and Pro models, you also get heated seats back here, and the top specification gets this lovely full panoramic sunroof. It could do with a blind, but the amount of light it lets into the cabin far outweighs this slight drawback. And it also means they are using less steel in the manufacturing process.
Boot space is 413 litres, which is on par with other SUVs, although the height is restricted. The tailgate is fully electric and has hands-free boot opening. The boot floor is foldable so you can section it off and stop your shopping rolling around, and there are some handy hooks you can hang your bags from too. If you do need the extra space, you can store the parcel shelf underneath the boot floor, and you get a fold-out partition to stop your luggage flying forward into the rear seats. All the cars come with a tyre inflation kit, which is a lot more popular nowadays as they give you more space, and they're easy for anyone to use so you can get back on the road.
The front load compartment gives you an extra 31 litres, so you've got space for another small bag, or you can store your charging cables in here. And I like that it's got a nice clean finish under here. I have seen some EVs where all the components are exposed, and it looks like they've forgotten to put the cover in. So it looks good. The cabin is a pleasant space to be in. Now we come on to the driving. Let's take it out for a spin and see how it performs on the road. So first impressions on the drive. Well, it's effortless. With over 400 horsepower at your disposal, it's very quick in a straight line. Plant your foot from a standstill and it just builds speed at an impressive rate. And with that instant torque, it certainly puts a smile on your face. It handles as you'd expect a car would that weighs in at over 2 tons. I mean, it's planted through the corners, but it's no sports car. That extra weight from the battery means it can be a little bit unsettled when you're switching direction. It tracks the road very well though, without any fuss over bumps or imperfections in the road. The clever placement of the battery is in the floor pan, so it keeps the centre of gravity low and delivers a very stable ride. Whilst driving though, the roofline does present another problem, and it cuts off the rear visibility, so you can't see right down the road behind you, only when cars are really close up. You do get some extra assistance from the blind spot information on the top 2 trims, and all the cars come with city safety feature that will stop the car if it detects obstacles or pedestrians or cyclists in the road. I have to say, electric cars in recent years are delivering extraordinary performance, don't get me wrong, but it always feels like you're missing some of the excitement. You can't replace the roar of the engine, the cacophony of noise that comes with the equivalent power combustion engine. So it does lack a little character when it's capable of such acceleration and just doesn't shout about it. But of course, this car is about sustainability. It's about providing 0 emissions as you drive, and that's something to keep in mind. Whilst it has the power, it's designed to offer everyday mobility whilst protecting the environments we live in. And that's when we come on to the battery in the car. 78 kilowatt hours means you can drive 273 miles on a full charge, which is a decent range. I mean, you're only likely to travel up to 30 miles a day anyway, whether it be commuting to work or going out shopping or school run, what have you. So you won't be worrying about the amount of charge that you have each day. You also have a range assistant installed that will give you the information on the consumption based on driving style, speed, climate controls you use. Heating is the biggest draw on the power on electric cars, but with the C40 you're able to precondition the car before you set off whilst it's still on charge. You can employ one pedal drive in the settings, so the C40 is regenerating every time you come off the power. It does take some getting used to as the resistance comes in quite strong, but when you've tried it for a while it becomes quite natural, managing the regenerative braking as you go on your journey. Overall, the C40 feels smooth and gives confidence through corners. It gives exciting performance thanks to the electric motors, although it is a little bit noisy at higher speeds on rough roads, which was previously noted on the XC40 built on the same platform. But these cars were designed as a city-dwelling crossover, which it absolutely excels at. Charging the car can be either with a home charger, which are about 7.4 kilowatts, and that will take around 10 hours for a full charge. Or if you're travelling beyond the range of the battery, you can rapid charge with a DC charger at most service stops up to 150 kilowatts. This will charge the battery to around 80% in around 40 minutes. The charging time slows after 80% to avoid overheating the battery. To support the demands of the everyday customer, Volvo offer the C40 exclusively on their Care by Volvo scheme, a flexible car subscription that offers worry-free motoring. It includes servicing and maintenance, wear and tear cover, roadside assistance, and a 3-month notice period should you wish to change your car. If you check out the Volvo website, they have a page dedicated to this scheme, which also covers the other cars in the Volvo range. To summarise the C40 then, it's a well-designed EV with plenty of features to satisfy anyone who values up-to-date technology. It's worth considering in your search for an electric car as it provides supreme performance whilst being good for the environment, practicality for everyday use, and style in abundance. Good job, Volvo.
As always, thanks for watching, and please feel free to subscribe, as I do hope to be doing a lot more in-depth reviews in the future. Also, hit that like button if you are now interested in the C40 after seeing this video. Thanks again, bye for now.